fighting out of Cleveland, Tennessee, I give you the Normal Dudes Podcast.
And his opponent fighting out of the red corner. He stands 6'2" tall. He weighed in at 135 pounds. He is making his MMA debut tonight. He represents independent MMA. I give you the Sharpshooter, Pierce.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Thanks for having me.
No, man, we appreciate you coming on.
Yes,
You
sir.
drove a long way to get here today. And for real, appreciate you coming on. So tell us a little bit about yourself. How'd you get started fighting? What did you do before that? Let's go back to it all, bro.
Oh man,
Just talk for a while.
So it's crazy. I talked about this a little bit at the last fight. So before I picked up fighting, I was a professional motocross and supercross racer. I did that for 10 years, I want to say, something along those lines. I picked up riding when I was young, but I got into like regular sports and I played like football, baseball, and I never really like loved it because it was like I never really loved like the team concept because it was always like room for like laziness and blaming other people, and you know, I never. My dad's kind of a hard ass, and he never lets me give myself excuses for anything. Yeah. So anytime I was around that, like you kind of like he's told me my entire life, anytime you're around something, you become something. So I got over like the coach's favorites and the kids getting special privilege, even though that they wouldn't work hard at practice. I got over that pretty early. So I rode for the first time when I was 4. Then, you know, I transitioned into regular sports. When I was 10, I kind of picked it back up again. I didn't start racing until I was 12. So like I kind of just rode for fun. And the first time I rode, I think I was still playing football or something at the time. And he came home from work one day and he was like, "Hey," he was like, "You want to go ride this weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go ride." My mom walks in and she's like, "You got a game Saturday?" And I was like, "Fuck that game, I'm going to ride." And that was it. I never picked up another ball sport again.
You never look back at it.
No.
I used to ride when I was little. I had a motorcycle that was like a 90 or something.
Yeah.
My dad, I got water in the carburetor a few times because I left it had a little plug on the gas tank. And he never fixed it because I went crazy on that thing, bro.
Yeah.
He was scared that I was going to get hurt all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I did that plenty. I spent plenty of time in the hospital.
Did you? Did you break everything?
Not everything.
Because that sport is known to like break you, right?
Oh, it's nuts, dude. And it's like the rule of thumb is it's not when you get hurt, it's not if you get hurt, it's when and how bad.
Yeah.
I could literally go down the list. I did both my wrists at the same time. That was brutal.
Whoa.
How did
you?
Yeah. How was the circumstance?
Was I 15, I think? I was young, dude.
Jerking off must have been something special.
Oh, dude, trying to figure it out. 2 casts up the elbows like this. My fingers are locked out like this. All I've got is my thumb. Can't pick up a TV remote. I couldn't do shit.
Cow, dude. You must have been in there humping pillows then.
Dude, I'm going to be completely honest with you. It was kind of a joyous experience because all I did was sleep.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Except for the part where my mom had to wipe my ass and my dad had to bathe me. That was.
And you're sitting in there just like, this is what.
Dude, we have a picture of me at a Mexican restaurant, and they lied and told the motherfuckers it was my birthday. They brought me a sombrero and they took a picture, and the picture is me with my arms up like this. It's absolutely horrendous. And every time I look at it, I think about the fact that my dad had to force feed me a taco because I couldn't pick it up.
Dang it.
It was bad, dude. It was horrible. Yeah, I've done everything. Everything you can think of. Collarbones, arms, wrists, hands, knuckles, fingers, toes, ankles.
All been broke.
The worst one was my spleen. I lacerated my spleen from side to side, and I was in ICU for 3 days.
Gosh.
That was rough. That was the worst pain I've ever been in my entire life.
What was that wreck? What happened?
So I was at a sand track that was like local, and they have what's called a wall jump. It's basically a speed check. It's a big ass, just straight up and down wall like this. And the section was wide open, dude, like as fast as you could go. And I like swapped out before it, and it threw me off the motorcycle straight into the wall. So I came to a dead stop, like just flattened me. I hit the ground, knocked me out. Woke up on the side of the track, and I was like looking up, and the guy that owned the track is like, "You got to get off the fucking track." And I'm like, I have no idea where I am right now. I don't know how you want me to get off the track. I don't even know. I don't know what happened. I'm like just sitting there.
Dang it.
I probably should have listened to my mother because I was trying to be the tough guy, and I started peeing orange, and I was like,
I've done that before.
This is not good. And then was like, well, maybe if I just keep drinking water, matter of fact, the medic at the track told me to just stay hydrated. He was like, stay hydrated, go to the bathroom, you know, you'll be all right, like whatever. And then nothing ever got better. And like, I think the red flag was I laid down in a hotel room and it felt like somebody was stabbing me. Like I couldn't even lay back. And my dad was like, all right, we're going to the hospital.
So you're kind of fortunate because the spleen bleeds really fast. I was an EMT. So people who are sitting in passenger seats bust their spleen 75% of the time if it's a impact of any type, right? Seatbelt comes down, it comes down to this part of your spleen and it ruptures the spleen. The spleen bleeds really fast. So you're kind of fortunate that you made it through that. You know what I'm saying? Like you take that for granted sometimes. I mean, you know, some people do, some people don't, but that's pretty crazy, bro. That's a crazy injury. So how old were you when that happened?
I was 15. So I literally I killed both my wrists in springtime, recovered. I rode 6 times and crashed again. And that was, I think it was like my second race back, and just,
gosh,
it was bad. That was the first time that I ever kind of looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I need to keep doing this or not. Dude, this is gnarly.
This is really rough.
So, but yeah, it was a cool, I credit that sport to giving me my work ethic, because it's a grind. It's like
100%,
100-degree weather in the summertime, like full gear, head to toe. Like it's brutal. It's rough. I've done this and fighting now. Fighting is way fucking worse. It's way harder.
Really?
It's way more.
Dude.
Yeah,
I was going to ask. That's one of the questions I was going to ask you.
Yeah, it's different. So the racing is very, like, I mean, fighting is too, but racing is very cardiovascular. It's very hard on the cardio. The tank is very, very hard to build for that sport because there's a lot of elements. The heat plays a lot into it. The track style, the roughness of the track, the motorcycle setup, like everything, it plays a role. But like this, just fighting is just, it's a different animal. There's another man trying to take your head off.
And then there's a lot of people who do professional motocross racing, right? And their cardio is insane.
Yeah.
That's what they work on. Like you have to be strong too. You have to be strong to do motocross.
For sure.
Let's not take anything away from that, because the strength of doing that is you're really torquing your body in a lot of ways. So I can see how the work ethic comes in hand in hand. You have to be strong to do both. But I didn't know if, I mean, I did. I felt like fighting would be a way different animal. It's like a whole nother step up where you're from motocross. But so when you first stepped into a ring from motocross, right? Is that kind of, I mean, was it like, I'm going to fight? You're just done with,
no.
Was it a clean transition like that?
No. So when I quit racing full time, I went into making music, which is what I'm fighting a dilemma right now. If I want to really pursue music, if I really want to pursue fighting, which I can get into that a little bit more too. But when I started making music, it was kind of where I wanted to go. Like I really enjoyed it. Music's been a big part of my life, my whole life since I was a kid. Like my dad, my mom will tell you, like there's probably pictures and videos of me running around the house in cowboy boots, singing on like country songs and whatever, which is crazy because I grew up and listened to punk rock and emo music growing up, and then as I got older, it became rap. But it's always been a big part of my life, like just the walkout music. Like I take pride in like what walkout song I pick. Like it's got to make me feel good. Like when I hear it, when I walk, I want to feel good. But
it should make you feel like something's, you know.
100%.
Yeah.
Do you produce your own beats and everything?
So ironically enough, no, I don't. I had a producer for a long time, but he got like super, super famous on like TikTok and stuff for doing like, I don't even know how to explain it. He does so much different stuff, but he like travels and explores and does like jungles and like ancient architecture and like crazy shit. He's doing like podcasts all over the world now, dude. I'm pumped for him. You know what I mean? I hate that he's not my producer anymore, but you know, I'm happy for him.
You
know,
for sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's wild.
It's cool to say you know somebody like that, right?
Yeah, dude. He's a great guy.
That's the way I felt about most of the fighters that came on. Like it's cool to meet you guys, get to know you a little bit better, sit down and talk with you. You know, it's really cool, man, for us too. Like, you think it's just cool for you to come on our podcast, and it is, right? But it's really cool for us. It's really cool for us to sit down and talk with you guys.
Right.
It's a two-way street. So now you've let's talk about the music.
All right.
Let's talk about the music. So I watched one of your videos and then went to go find the music, and did find it and streamed it, because that's what you asked us to do at the end of your video. I like it. I like the music that you made. I like it.
I appreciate it.
And I can't remember the name of the song but I've watched several of your videos. We do that with everybody that comes on. We want to get to know as much about you as we can, right?
Prep work, man. Prep work.
Yeah.
Fight camp for a podcast.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah. It just is a week long instead of 8 or 6 or 3 or 2. But yeah, we want to know a little bit about you so we can kind of guide the questions in the right direction, right? But I enjoyed it. So I can't say don't go chase music, because I actually enjoyed the music that you made. But I enjoyed the fighting that you do a lot more.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
but your dreams are your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're your dreams.
Yeah.
How old are you?
24.
Yeah,
Man.
bro, you're young. You still got your whole life ahead of
It's
you.
like
bro.
either way, you know.
Yeah, you can do both. You still got time to do both.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can do
Yeah.
music till you're dead.
Yeah.
You know.
I've thought about that too, because I'm young, and I'm like, I think my biggest issue with music is not directly competitive. I'm a competitor. Like I've been a competitor my whole life. I just think that's where I'm the happiest. That's where I'm most myself. Music does make me happy. I enjoy performing. I love being on stage. That's a whole other animal in itself, and it's so much fun. But I'm a competitor. Like, as a rapper, like it's not directly competitive. Like, I'm not going in here and testing my skill set against yours by sitting in a studio plotting out a song to try and put it at number 1 on the radio or the charts or whatever. But I talked to my dad like a year ago, and I told him that I didn't know what my plan was, like, as far as life, because I've done a lot of things. I raced, I make music, I was a fighter. I'm not going to say I'm running his company. He still does a lot of the work, but like, he sends me to work on my own, and like, I do a lot of stuff for him. I have my own landscaping business, and we were just having like a father-son conversation, and he was like, you know, what is your plan? And I was like, you know, I really don't know. Whatever God's plan is for me, that's what I want to do now. Like, I don't.
Oh, beautiful. Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? And it could be music. It could be fighting, and I'm starting to think it's fighting. The more that I've been around it, I'm starting to enjoy who I become as a fighter and the man that I am. Like, I spend a lot more time in my faith, a lot more time in the Bible. I pray more, and you spend, as a fighter, like any fighter I'm sure can attest to it, it's a battle within yourself before you ever fight another man. Like, I tell people all the time, that first week of fight camp, it could be different for everybody, but for me, is horrible. Like, mentally, it's like, mentally, when you have a name, a date, and you know at the end of the road, they're going to put us in a cage together, and somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. It's not normal. So your brain is like, fuck, do I really want to go do this? Is this something that I seriously want to go do? And then, like, once you get over that hump, like, even after that, it's like self-doubt and things creep in. Like, you have a bad sparring session.
I think it was you who said that you didn't like confrontation when you were little or whatever.
I hated it.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's insane, because I was the same way. You know what I mean? I didn't like none of this stuff, but
yeah, I can give you a multitude of stories, man. Like, I got bullied a lot as a kid. Like, I'm sure my family remembers, I got threatened like crazy at one school. I got jumped in a locker room by 5 guys. That sounds terrible. No diddy. And like, but
thanks for keeping it live.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But,
I know. I was fixing to get all depressed, bro.
So that happened, and then there was there's multitude of different situations. I never wanted to fight anybody. Like, I'm not a fighter, or I am now, but I wasn't then. Like, I didn't want, like,
you avoided conflict.
I would talk so much shit too. Like, people would start it with me, and I would talk big so that it would look like I wanted to fight, but I'm steering as far clear of whoever the problem was. It didn't matter who it was either. Right. But I'm staying as far away from it as I can. And back to your original question a few minutes ago, we were actually out of town working, and I me and one of my buddies that used to work with us, we decided like we wanted to go to a boxing gym one day and just try it out. And even then, like when I got there, I still didn't like confrontation. I didn't have any like intentions of sparring. I just wanted to learn how to fight in case I needed it.
Yeah.
Because of stuff like that. When I was a kid, I got bullied. I'm not even gonna say that I got in one fight where I threw a punch and I hit this kid in the face and he had braces and it stuck his braces to his bottom lip. And he was a wrestler and he grabbed me and he took me down, and I had probably seen some dude get choked out in a video or something with a guillotine. I ended up guillotining this kid before I ever even knew what it was.
You didn't even know what you were doing?
Yeah, dude. And I just grabbed him and he just like turned purple and like he was like, I could hear him like wincing. I just let him go and he stood up and you could see his braces.
Oh, that's like terrible.
In his lip. And I was like, oh, this is bad.
And that's when you're like, I might be good at this. I don't know. I can't tell.
I was like, I want to say I was like 13, dude. Like I was young.
This was before your spleen and your wrist
dude,
and
this
everything.
was before then. And it was like, we were doing something we probably shouldn't have done. I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Yeah, no, I ain't know we to do that.
So we, anyway, so this is into 2021, early 2022. We were talking about it. We were like, let's go to a boxing gym. You know, we talked about it for a while. I think in like April of 2022 or something like that, I walked into the gym that I train at now, and I was there for like 3 months maybe. And I think that two of my teammates competed. I saw them compete and I was like, I got to do that at least really once. I got to try that. Yeah, I got to do that one time, at least once. I made the joke the whole camp. I was like, I'm gonna go kickbox. I'm gonna be a 1-0 kickboxer. I'm gonna retire and I'm gonna go make music. And then I won, and I'm standing in the back, and my coach goes, "So what do you think?" And he was like, "When's the next card?" Yeah, it's like I want to go again. Like
you look good fighting.
Thank you.
And so my son was a wrestler, and he was a football player. He was a football player and a wrestler. And as a football player, he ran 100-yard touchdowns. Like he was a stud on the football field. And he would run and get into the end zone. He would score 5, 6, 7 touchdowns a game. Okay. He was just a stud. And then he wrestled. And he's like, dude, I'm just going to tell you, like, I can score all those touchdowns. He's like, but there's no greater feeling than when they lift your hand up on this mat and tell you that you won a one-on-one with this other guy that's trying to impose his will on you.
Yeah.
He's like, it was the greatest feeling I ever felt. Did that happen to you? Did you go, golly, bro?
Yeah. Absolutely.
That feels way better than I thought it was going to.
As a matter of fact, that's literally exactly how I explained it. I've had this conversation multiple times with other people. Like, they'll ask me, they're like, yeah, like, you know, you did a lot. Like, I was never like, as a racer, I was never a high level guy. Like, I was fast enough to go pro. I had a pro license, you know what I mean? Like, I did all the things to get my outdoor license. I was in the process of getting my Supercross license and I got hurt. And, but I was never like the top 1% of the sport. Like, I was never going to make a living. Like, I could have probably bounced check to check if I really drove into it. And, you know, I've had the conversation, man, you know, I did a lot of things in that sport that people never said I would never do. Like, you're never going to, you know, qualify for this race. You're never going to hold a pro license. You're never going to qualify for a pro race. Like, all these things that I did in that, it's not even close. Like, the first time I got my hand raised in that kickboxing fight, I was like, holy shit. Like, this is cool, dude. Like,
it's almost like a drug or something to
people. Dude, that high after the fight, and it lasts like 3-4 days, bro. You wake up in the morning with a smile on your face and you're like, I just beat the shit out of some dude. It lasts that long
for me whenever I go to the fights.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was just fixing to tell him about. Is like, as we get to know more and more of the fighters, you know, our adrenaline went up watching the fights. And come Monday morning, I had what we have all talked about. It was an adrenaline dump on Monday morning going to work, and I was like, I can't believe that, dude, because I was so hyped watching the people I know, I've talked to on this podcast, got to know, met them, fell in love with them, because honestly, I haven't met a fighter yet that hasn't been a completely respectable human being. Honestly, there's not one that's come through here so far that has been anything but respectable. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of get a heart for these guys, bro, you know, and you watch them fight. I've seen some of them lose. I've seen some of them win. and we were on a whole hill of emotions, and then boom, you're like Monday morning. I'm like, I'm back at work, and I was like,
I don't get like the adrenaline dump. I get like depressed. I'm like,
that's really an adrenaline dump. Really, it is. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
you're like, I got to do this again.
Yeah,
because I want to feel that again.
Yeah, it's like I literally the Monday after my fight, I go do like this big ass lot that I have to do for landscaping, and I'm riding around on the lawnmower, and I'm like, I'm back at work on Monday, and I just blew through some guy in 2 minutes.
I know.
And now I've got to wait until another card shows up and go through camp again and cut weight again. I'm like, fuck, dude. I'm thinking about all this shit just riding around. I'm sure that yard looks like shit. I'm sure there's shit everywhere, dude. I'm sure that yard looks terrible. I'm just staring off into space. Like, what the fuck? This is bad, dude. I'm sure it looked terrible.
So I've noticed myself that fighting, you look calm as hell.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if that's the professional motocross experience, like, you know,
where does that come from, bro?
How do you so calm? Because you do look calm.
You know, the only other fighter that looks calm like that is Connor Sledge. That's his last name, Sledge. Yeah. Connor Sledge. He said, I've never gotten nervous before a fight. I never feel that. And it looks like you don't have one etch of nerves in your body.
He might be a fucking robot because I'm nervous as shit.
Are you?
Okay,
really?
I'll put it to you like this.
You don't look like it.
In the back, I'm nervous. When I make the walk, it goes away. Literally, when I'm standing behind.
He may be a robot, bro.
Dude, dude, I get nervous about everything, dude. But in the back, warming up and stuff, when I'm hitting the pads and stuff, with my coaches, and they're affirming me and talking to me and telling me
you got this, bro. You're good.
Yeah, dude. All that, what coaches are supposed to do. I'm good. Then when I was standing behind the curtain, they started playing the interviews. Both times when the interviews are on, I'm like, fuck.
I can't believe I'm fixing to do this.
It's I really have to walk out here and fight this guy now. There's nothing else I can do. And then I always hear this shit. It's like a switch. It doesn't feel like a switch to me. It just feels like it just goes away. But it's like a switch. Whenever my music hits, I hear my name and I start walking. It's like, I tell my friends, because it's hard to explain to people that haven't ever fought or that haven't made that walk or that haven't ever been into an MMA gym what it feels like. Mm-hmm. It's they're always like, what does it feel like? And I'm like, the best way that I can explain it to you is it's like a primal switch. It's
yep.
I have to go in here and it's in the back of my mind, it's if I'm not going in here with the mentality that this guy might kill me, he's probably going to.
He could.
So it's the only thing stopping him from killing me is that ref. So it's I have to go in here and be the best version of myself when they say fight. And make sure that I do my job. My job is to inflict as much punishment on this guy until that ref tells me to stop that I can. Yeah. And whenever I make that walk,
my nerves will be so shot, bro. I don't know how y'all do this.
Yeah.
But it's impressive. Yeah.
I do feel very peaceful when I get in there though. I told my dad, I told everybody after when I got to the cage, when I took my shirt off and I hugged my coaches for the last time, I was like, all right, here we go. I walked up to the top of the steps. I prayed, did my thing, got in the cage. As soon as I put my eyes on him, I feel free, dude. I feel like nothing matters. I'm not thinking about anything other than how do I get to you as fast as possible.
That said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you feel free. It's the freest you've ever felt. Yep. There's nothing else to worry about except for that dude over there.
Yeah. And honestly, even when you're in there, obviously the objective is to win. But in my mind, it's win, lose, or draw, as long as I give the best performance that I can give, I'm happy. Mm-hmm. Because as an amateur, I'm starting to learn that an amateur record, it doesn't matter. Everybody wants to win every fight, as a fighter in general.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, you want to win everything.
Amateur learning experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just need the experience. So win, lose, or draw, as long as I go in here and do what I'm supposed to do, and I give the performance that I know that I'm capable of as a fighter, I can win, lose, whatever, and be happy at the end of the day. Because it's the amount of work that it takes as a fighter to get to the fight is way harder than the fight. Golly. Way fucking harder. The shit, the guys that I went
That's a
through
really
this,
good point.
Yeah. The guys that I went with this last camp, I'm gonna shout some of these guys out because these guys are really, really talented.
Sure.
Fernando Soriano, he's fought for A&F. He's an animal in the gym. John Lewis, the head kick master, bro. That dude head kicks everybody he fights. Will Hughes was a big part of my last camp. He was actually the 135 champ in the NFC in Georgia. And I spent a lot of time with him. And as a matter of fact, that lat drop that I hit in the last fight was something that I learned from Will and my wrestling coach, because I got hip tossed a million times during fight camp on the cage. And, him.
Because this last one was your first MMA, right?
Yeah. This is the first time I got to put it all together. So a lot of guys, man, like, the Chance brothers, they're the two twins. They fight in Georgia. They were a big part of my camp as well. My coaches, Bolo, Manny, Coach E, they were all big parts. Thomas, the guys at Warrior, BJJ, they were a big help. I did a lot of cross training with those guys. Axel Luna was getting ready to leave for the military, but he came and gave me a lot of rounds once I got switched opponents. I was originally supposed to fight in Elevate, and I had a short, stocky wrestler. So we were spending a lot of time with wrestlers. We actually brought in a buddy of mine. His name is Cohen. He wrestled today, and he just beat the #1 ranked guy. That was at the tournament today. And he was a big part of my camp as well. So this camp was a lot harder because
Let's not forget your strength and conditioning coach.
This guy over here, the strength and conditioning coach. Yeah, I'm sure he's standing there plotting on how bad he can torture me for this next camp.
Yeah.
Every time I open my app where he programs my workouts, I'm like, yeah, this guy fucking sucks. I hate this guy. But
I'm sure you got a love-hate relationship with that dude.
But I'll give him all the credit in the world, dude. Even through like those scrambles, like in the first, minute of that fight, and the throw and everything, like, and the adrenaline, like I was still like nasal breathing whenever Dylan had me against the cage. Like I didn't feel tired. I had all the wind in my sails. Like I was calm. Like
but you looked calm, bro.
Yeah, I felt
that's
great,
what we're talking about. Like it looked like you had been in there 100 times straight up. Like it was we've seen a lot of fights now. We've watched 1 million amateur fights. At this point, I probably have seen 1 million of them for real. And it looked like it was not your first or second fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It looked really calm. It felt like you felt really calm. And you were doing your thing in there, bro, for real, straight up. I was impressed with, for your second fight, you look clean, bro.
Yeah.
I think clean.
I think that
good.
plays into what we're talking about too. Like the guys that I train with, like it gives you, knowing you're in a good room, like a good room of guys. Like one of my training partners is getting ready to make his pro debut. Shout out Justin Lopez. I hope he's watching this. I'm sure he is, because he's probably going to say I said something stupid on the podcast and chew me out for it. But I spent a lot of time with him during camp, and he was really like affirming for me. Like he's like, dude, like, like I beat myself up a lot in training. Like when I don't do what I know I'm supposed to do, or like when I'm getting smoked, like, like at sparring sessions and stuff, he was like, like you're a lot better than you give yourself credit for. Even Will said that. My last sparring session, I did 6 rounds with Will, and he was like, dude, he was like, don't go in there and be anything less than who you are. He was like, you've seen my track record. I had a belt. I was like, you've seen the guys that I've beat. It's like, we come in here and spar and you compete with me. You're not a punching bag for me. We compete when you spar. Like, go in there and show these people who you are. Like, and those are the things that
you feel affirming. Like it's a lot of confidence. Like it's a lot. Like, so for me, like I'm just sitting here as myself. I'm old man and don't want to get in there and fight. But if I was to go in there and fight, I would need somebody to be like, bro, I'm telling you, you have this.
Yeah, for sure.
It wouldn't be like, I couldn't go in there and fight if somebody was like, I don't know, bro.
Fuck no, dude.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I completely agree.
Fuck that, dude.
Fuck. Somebody tells me, I'm not sure. So like, all right, take the hand wraps off. I'm going home.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think a lot of it is just the building your confidence up to say. Plus, I don't think coaches build up and give confidence to fighters who they're not confident in, right?
Oh, no. My coaches definitely don't. Dude, they'll tell you to get the fuck off the mats if you're not doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah, well, and it depends on what you're there for, right? If you're there to compete and you're going to fight in a ring, in a cage, and you're going to go do this, then they're going to be, this is not your day, or whatever. They're going to tell you then.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're just there for sport, they're not going to be as harsh on you. They're going to let you go over there and learn combos. Yeah. Learn a few takedowns, whatever.
It's different. You're in the dog pound whenever you're a fighter, dude.
100%.
And your coaches are going to make sure that whatever you're doing is 10 times harder than whatever the other people are doing.
Because they got their
sparring
names
days.
attached to it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I would rather it be that way. I want my coaches to, I want to be put through the fire, dude. Like
100%.
I told my coaches at the beginning of camp, I was like, do not hold back. Like, put me through it. And like I said, like that's where the confidence comes from. I think that's where the peace comes from once I get in the cage. The confidence
comes from the training, yeah.
Yeah, it's like because I know the level of guys that I'm around. I know the guys that I train with during camp, and it's no knock on either of the guys that I've fought, because Shane hits like a truck, and Dylan is. I believe that Dylan is a really good fighter. I've watched his film. He's tough as nails, dude. Like all credit in the world to him. All credit in the world to Shane. I don't know how the fuck I didn't get Shane out of there, dude.
I don't either.
I hit him with everything in the kitchen sink, and he was still standing when it was over.
Yeah,
but
it was insane.
Yeah, I just think that it comes from that.
He was damn limping.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in a brace the next day. Like I know he went to the hospital after the fight, or they told me he did. I seen him because I went and took a picture with him and talked to him and everything, and to me, like it's a sport, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, when we're getting there to fight, you're in my way, but when it's over, I'll shake your hand, win, lose, or draw. Yeah. It's about respect at the end of the day. Oh, yeah. If you're better than me on that night, you know what I mean? It is what it is, but it's my job. Like I said, in camp, that work is where it matters for me. And during camp, I'm going to make sure that I leave no stone unturned. And if that guy beats me, he's going to have to just be better than me. Yeah. It's not going to be because you outworked me. It's not going to be because you're in better shape than me. You're just a better fighter. You're going to have to be better. Yeah. And that's the mindset that I take to it, because it's different. Like, I'm not going in here to play patty cake with this guy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who gave you that name, Sharpshooter?
John Lewis.
Oh, really?
For real?
And so coming from a guy like John Lewis is
means something, right?
Yeah. It's crazy, because John Lewis is, a knockout artist. Yeah. So the conversation was funny, because John Lewis beats the shit out of me anytime I stand in front of him. But I asked him one day after sparring, I was like, dude, it's like, how would you describe my style of striking? Because we were all having a conversation, it was after like Thai sparring or something, and everybody's talking about different shit. And we were talking about styles of fighting and like pro guys, and I was like, John, how would you describe my striking? Like, I wanted to know, because John Lewis is a good striker. He's a great grappler as well. I don't think people know that, but he's a great striker. And I asked him, he's like, dude, you're a fucking sniper, dude. You're a sharpshooter. And he said, when he said sharpshooter, I was like, that's sick. Yeah. And like, I didn't think about it at first. And then like, I was sitting around with my friends or something at dinner one night, and I was like, they were like, what's your fight nickname going to be? Like, you can't just be you the whole time. You gotta have a nickname or something, dude. Every great fighter has a dope ass nickname. And I was like, well, John Lewis called me a sharpshooter. And one of my buddies goes, that's it. That's the one.
That's it.
Use it, dude. He's like, use that shit. And I'm like, all right. I was like, I didn't take to it at first. I was kind of like, I'm sure like somebody's going to say something that's going to hit me. Yeah. And like one day that just randomly hit me, because ironically enough, I'm a big WWE fan. Like when I was a kid, my favorite wrestler growing up was Bret Hart. And I think that's why my favorite color is pink, because he wore pink and black. You know what I mean? Yeah. And his finisher was the sharpshooter. So I thought about that one day, and I was like, damn, that's kind of like a full circle moment. Yeah. And it's kind of sick. And then, I'm kind of pissed off I didn't really get to show my striking, because I believe fully that I'm a great striker.
Let me tell you something about that. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm saying it looked like you did striking pretty good to me.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't get to showcase it as much as I wanted to.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is, whatever the fight leads you to do, don't let what you think about what people say about your fight, don't let that deter you from your fight. We had Torres Finney on, and you know who he is? Mm-mm. So he's a UFC fighter.
Oh shit.
He's a true blue. He signed a contract with Dana White, UFC fighter.
Sick.
He was on the Contender Series 3 times. He's the only dude to win it 3 times.
Oh, yeah. I have seen him before.
Okay. So he said in here, he said, I fought my fight. Win, lose, or draw, I'm fighting my fight. People talk so much trash about this dude because he's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Golly. I don't know what happened there, bro.
Was that AC Unit here when Jesus walked on earth?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That thing he lit up quick, dude. Sounded like it had rocks inside it.
Yeah, it did. I know. It's never done that before. It's probably fixing to break. But he was saying when he was on the Contender Series fighting, you know, he didn't get a contract the first time. He went in, he's like, I gotta win. I'm just gonna win these fights, you know. And he fought his fight the next time. It wasn't appealing to Dana because it was wrestling. Granted, dude can punch like a truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But his fights, he wrestles. That's what he does. He's good at it. And he finally got a contract after the third one, but he said, I'm going to fight my fight. I'm going to win by fighting my fight. And so just a piece of advice out there for anybody who's watching, anybody who's a fighter, fight your fight. If you're good at striking, strike. If you're good at wrestling, wrestle. If you're good at takedowns, take them down. If you're good at ground and pound, get them down, ground and pound, right? But I don't think, like you were saying, I just want to showcase my striking. I want to, and I get it. I do, because the knockouts is what makes
exciting.
everybody go,
exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exciting.
saying?
Yeah.
It's exciting. But for me, not everybody, and I understand that, but wrestling is just as exciting for me.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It is. I love that aspect of it, because I get wrestling. I see what's going on. I can understand it. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody sees that, and a lot of people look at that as boring. But if you're good at jiu-jitsu or you're good at wrestling, take it to the mat, win your fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know everybody wants the knockout. Everybody does. Logan Sharp, wrestler. He's like, man, I want to knock somebody out. He went 3 rounds with a dude, almost died because he didn't want to take him to the ground and wrestle. I mean, he ended up taking him to the ground, and dude was a great wrestler. Laughlin.
Tucker.
Tucker was a great defensive
Tucker's
wrestler.
Tough son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
He's tough, dude. He is so
golly.
tough.
I was about to get him on here.
Oh, for sure.
Dude.
Just to talk to him about that fight, because
you got to, dude. That kid's funny as shit. And
Is he?
Dude, he's a great training partner too, but he is tough as shit.
Yeah. So I seen that. I watched the fight, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I would have tapped a long time before he, you know, because I can't, if I get hit in the ribs, bro, I'm done. My game is over with.
Oh, that's everybody, dude.
And he was.
It's not the headshots you got to worry about. You take a fucking liver shot, bro. It's over with.
He took a bunch of them and just kept on fighting, bro. Like he didn't get hit or something. I don't know.
That was his first fight, wasn't
I think it was his second. I think it was
the
the
second
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
I really just met Tucker like right before that card.
Okay.
But he, he's been training for, not consistently, but he's been training on and off for a while. So
yeah.
But I've done stand up with him. His stand up is fine. He's got decent grappling, and like, I did help him game plan a little bit for that fight. You know what I mean? Because I watched the footage. I watched Logan's first fight.
Yeah.
And
he's a little bit of a wrestler.
He's a gamer, dude. He's gonna go in there and fight you.
Yeah.
That's what I told Tucker. I was like, dude, you're gonna have to be on your shit.
Yeah.
I was like, if you don't go in there and you're not on your shit, it may not be your night.
It might not be your night. Logan's a tough dude. He's a brawler. But he sat right here and said, Tucker, you are the toughest dude. He sat here and said the same thing.
He's tough, dude.
And that's one of the things that I like about this stuff is like, y'all are fighting in there.
Yeah.
And then you walk away and you're like, nothing but respect for that dude.
Yeah.
He got in here, went toe to toe with me. I went toe to toe with him. We both trained hard, and it was a fight.
Yeah,
it's nothing but respect.
Yeah,
I love that about it.
Mm-hmm.
I've made it a point at both my fights after the fight to go find the guy that I fought.
Yes,
because that's what it's about. Like it's become like a showman sport these days. Like it's about like selling your character and shit like that, and that's great. But at the end of the day, like behind the scenes, like I'm not a talker. I'm not gonna go out here and fucking try to do some outlandish shit and tell you fucking suck, and I'm gonna put your chin in the front row. Like I might say that in the gym with my friends when I'm confident in my ability, but I'm not going to go on social media or say it to your face. And like, because at the end of the day, like when it's over, I don't have any ill will towards you. Like I'm not actually going in here to kill this guy.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going in here to do what I have to do to win this fight.
In all actuality, every fighter that goes into the cage with another man and fights him, you don't have anything but respect for that dude. That's what I've noticed. Right?
Yeah.
You step in there and you know that dude trained just as hard as you did.
Yeah.
And you hope he didn't train harder.
Yeah.
Right? You're sitting there like, I hope I did everything I could to beat this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know he fought. He's trained. I know he did.
Yeah.
So it's nothing but respect between you guys. And it's very insane to me how that all works out.
Yeah.
I've never fought anybody that I liked afterwards.
It's a different scenario.
Yeah, it is
Never in my
different
life,
scenario.
bro. Never. Not one time.
Yeah.
I didn't never fight a dude and be like, well, we're going to be, but I mean,
Yeah.
Let's go get a beer after this, dude.
yeah, I can get over it, right? But it's not like that for me. It's kind of crazy. Y'all's mindset is a little bit tilted east or something.
You got to be a little psychotic to get in there for sure.
Yeah.
I completely agree with everything you said too, especially back to the point about like fighting your fight, because the people that will judge your performance most of the time have never made the walk to the cage.
Yeah.
They don't know what that feels like under those lights. They don't know what it sounds like to be in a room full of guys beating the shit out of each other on a sparring day.
Right.
Much less get in a cage in front of an audience of people where you run the risk of getting knocked out or getting embarrassed in front of all the people that care about you. You know what I mean? And that's different, you know. And like when we were standing in the back, my coaches made a really good point. They looked at me and they were like, don't like, again, no disrespect to Dylan at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just believed that I was better. I knew I was a better fighter. You know what I mean? You know, I
You
believed
have
that.
to believe that.
Yeah.
Why
But-
get
They
in
all
there?
believe that. Every one of them believe that same thing.
yeah.
He got in there thinking that same
he was going to
thing.
beat me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. If it's
Sure.
not that way, like I don't want a guy that's in there with me that doesn't believe he can beat me, because
100%.
if I want to beat up a tin can, I'll go hit the punching bag in the gym.
There
for
you
sure.
go.
But I just think that you can't make an outside assessment of something that you've never done. So for someone to say anything about, especially a high level elite UFC guy that just signed with the UFC, like I'm not a huge fan of wrestlers, but I respect what they do because that's a different part of the game. Just like I'm sure wrestlers respect strikers.
Yeah, they do.
My favorite, I love wrestlers in a different manner. I don't like the lay and pray wrestlers. I like the guys that want to dump you on your head, and when you get to the ground, they're going to
I'm gonna try to finish you. I'm
I'm
gonna
going to beat the shit out of you. And even if I don't get the finish, I'm going to beat the shit out of you or try to sub you or whatever.
Something.
But I completely agree with that. Like being able to go fight your fight. But even at that, like I said, we were standing in the back talking about that. Standing back there, like I fully believe that I was better than him, and I fully believe that when I go in here, I'm going to beat you. I said it all camp. He's not going to make it out of the first round.
Right.
I said it the whole camp. And we were standing in the back, and the same thing that I had heard all camp, you know, it was like, don't go in here and blow your wad trying to get this guy out of here because you're better than he is. Go in here and make him show you the finish. Yeah. He's going to show you a way out, and you're going to give it to him. Yeah. So that was kind of the whole process. It went a little different than we expected it to. I thought that I actually had it wrote down like in my head. Like I do a lot of visualization towards the end of camp. Like do a lot of breath work, like on my own time. Like I have a whole playlist. It's just like white noise music, and I just listen to it and focus on my breathing and visualizing the fight, like visualizing the walkout, the warm up, like getting my hand raised, doing my interview, like everything. Like wow. And every time I visualized it, it was just like every bit of footage I watched from this guy. Every time he throws, his chin goes up. He starts to go forward, his hands come down. I'm like, I'm going to head kick this kid. And I just kept seeing it. And then we got in there, and it was like the first time I really threw something and it landed. Like that's why if you watch the fight back, the first kick I threw at his hands on purpose, because originally, you know, we were supposed to fight without shins. That's a whole nother situation. But my coach in the back was like, you know, don't go in there and hunt the head kick first. He was like, kick his hands first. See what he does. Like, because you don't want to overextend. He was like, don't overextend into your head kick and get caught with something stupid. He's like, kick his hands. So I kick his hands, and there was another one where I was going to try and like I gave him like a little feint with like a question mark kick, and I was like, I want him to see it because I want to see what he's going to do. And then shortly after that was the first time I really got to use my hands, and we worked my hands a lot. I have really, really good kicks. That's a big part of my game. My hands are really, really good too, and people haven't got to see that yet, which I'm excited to showcase. But we were, kind of, going tit for tat back and forth, kind of trying to find the range or whatever. And the whole camp, my coach was like, you're going to hit this kid one time and he's going to try and grab you. He's going to go from being a stand-up guy to a grappler. And he's like, for a 35er, you can crack. He was like, was like, okay. So I was like, I got in there and he was really awkward. I'm gonna be honest with you. It felt really weird from my side. Like I couldn't tell what he was doing or what he was going to do. I was just trying to be on my P's and Q's. And I threw a right hand. Like I went to kind of like feint at him and then throw a right hand. And as I feinted, he kind of stuck his arms out and threw something. I remember just like bracing his hands. And I knew his hands were going to come down. I threw a right hand over the top. I kind of like stand back up into it. And it kind of like grazes his chin a little bit and then it hit his shoulder.
Yeah.
And I seen like his eyes, as soon as I hit him, like he felt it and his eyes lit up. And I was like, he's going to grab me in a second. Yeah. And if you watch the fight, he threw like something. And I think I threw a leg kick or something after that. And then he just blitzed me and just started throwing shit.
Yeah.
And that was when it clicked that I was in an MMA fight. I was like, oh, I can grab this motherfucker. Yeah. And I had all intentions of letting him go. I was like, I'm going to tie up with him. I'm going to turn him to the cage because our whole game plan was to keep him on the cage. Every combination we worked was set up for the cage. So I was like, I'm going to turn this guy. I'm going to put him on the cage. I'm going to let him go. Soon as I turned, he like latched onto me. And I was like, all right, well, if you want to hold on, we can grapple. I can grapple too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like that was that was the moment where it kind of changed my mind. I was like, all right, I don't have to be one dimensional and strike this guy. Like you're saying, I can fight my fight. I was like, I can grapple.
Whatever comes to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I can grapple. They probably don't know that, but I can grapple. And that was when I made a couple of little small minor errors that I knew I shouldn't have fucking done while I was in there. And it kind of put me in a bad position for a couple seconds. And when he put me on the cage, like I said, I trained with guys that showed me shit. Whenever he went to throw me, I was like, oh, I've been here.
Impressive.
I've been here 1,000 times, dude. I know exactly what I got to do. I was going to ask you, you said you know about wrestling. So what did you think about that?
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It was absolutely the perfect Greco hip toss.
Dude, felt sick. It was one of those things where it happened so fast too. Like whenever I stepped over.
It was huge, bro.
Yeah. I knew when I did it, I was like, oh yeah, you're in trouble. But like when I did it, it happened so fast. I was like, I hit the ground and I was like looking at the ground. I was like, oh shit, we're on the ground. Yeah. And like the one thing that I remember, it's if you watch that sequence back, I remember they were telling me it was a big key. They were like, whenever you hit the ground, they were like, grab the head, control the head. Cause you know, like you want to keep him close to you. Yeah. So if you watch it, as soon as we hit the ground, I cup his head and I pull it to me. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ground and pound. I knew he was probably going to throw a triangle at me because he's got long legs like me, and having long legs, like that's a beautiful submission to have from the bottom. Yeah. So like whenever he grabbed me, he did a good job controlling my posture. Like whenever we got down there, like I couldn't ground and pound that first sequence because he had my head down.
Yep. He had a hold of you. Yep.
Yeah. Then like I got to the side and I was like, I'm just gonna try to go in the mountain, just see if I can get it. You know what I mean?
And you freaking did.
Well, I got a ration of shit from the jiu-jitsu guys when I got back the first day back in the gym.
I'm sure it was terrible for them.
Dude. So I got in the mount like the first time, so I had to mount him twice. I got to mount the first time. And I didn't settle because I got in the mount. I'm not even gonna lie. This was like probably like, I know from the outside, everybody said it looked calm and mature for the performance, but I got in the mount and I was like, fuck, I'm in mount. Holy shit.
I can't believe this.
And then like, as soon as I realized he bucked me, like, and I was like, okay, I tried to jump his back, but he had a whizzer. And then he stood up. And at that point I was like, I could kind of like, I'm not going to say it like broke his spirit. You know what I mean? Because he was still fighting me.
Yeah.
But it felt like after I threw him, the dynamic of the fight changed.
Yeah.
Because like whenever like I hit, like we tied up on the cage the second time and I turned around, I kind of had him pressed against the cage. And I couldn't really throw any knees because he was doing some weird shit with his hands and knees. And I'm not going to waste movement. Like John Lewis said, I'm a sharpshooter. I pick my shots. I'm not just going to throw shit to throw it.
So that's cool. That's a big thing too. Like that the only professional fighter we've talked about said you have to do. There's been two guys that were, one guy was a UFC fighter and the other guy has been boxing for 40 years.
That's insane. He's been boxing longer than I've been alive.
Yeah. And he said, pick your shots. And if you can do that, that's actually like, you're 5 years ahead of the game if you're picking your shots.
Yeah.
Like that's just, and
from
that's
what we learned.
That's what we learned. But I don't know that. I'm no fighter whatsoever. I don't know anything about it. The wrestling part I understand, but like, that's just something that we've been told by people who have done it for a long time or people who are at a high elite level. Yeah. Just pick your shots. You got to learn when to feather the gas.
Yeah.
So,
and understanding what works too.
It was impressive because you did that. It felt like the whole time you were even when you were full mount the second time, you waited until everything was right.
Yeah.
Before you rained down and they ended the fight. But
yeah. So I mean, the way you fight, it feels like, I don't know if you watch UFC, but you know, Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Yep.
is
calm and collected.
Calm striker, bro. I'm talking about he gets in there when you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Control. He's very like controlled in the chaos, which is crazy. I don't feel like I'm as good in the chaos as he is. Like he's very like aware. Like I'm fine in the chaos, but I'm more defensively sound than offensively sound. Like in the chaos, like I'm trying to make sure like my defensive system is correct. Like, and I got that from the first fight. Like my first fight, like I'm so used to being the tall guy in sparring sessions, you know, minus guys like John Lewis. I've said his name 8,000 times. He's going to be like, dude, thanks for all the free promo. But I just like that whole camp of leading up to the fighting Shane, I was the taller guy for most of my rounds because we knew Shane was a shorter dude. So it was like, I'm the longer guy. I got real arrogant with my hands throughout camp and Shane hit me a fucking lot. And it was like, I was like, in my mind going in, like I was in my first fight, I was like, no, like seeing the footage of Shane, like knowing where I was at that time, I was like, this motherfucker shouldn't hit me at all. He shouldn't touch me at all. You know what I mean? Then I go in there, I get cracked a couple times, and I'm like, okay, fuck.
He still hit me.
Yeah, and then I go,
what does he know that I don't?
Yeah, dude. And then I go back to the footage, and I'm like, well, mistake number one, dumbass, your hands are down.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing in front of him. You're backing straight. Like
you haven't thrown a jab yet.
Yeah,
you haven't kept your distance with your jab yet, or whatever.
I watched that fight so many times.
You learn,
and dude,
but that's what this is all about. That's what the amateur level is all about, bro. Is this is just training for you?
Yeah,
you know, and you know you have a bright future in this.
Thank you.
If you stick with this and this is what you decide to do, you have a bright future in it. I think your music could do something too. But,
back to your original thought though, the Max Holloway comparison is something that I get a lot. I think it's the rangy striking.
Yeah.
It's weird though. Like I get the Sean O'Malley thing all the time. Because it was because of the pink hair and I'm a long 135.
I was thinking that, but I was like, I'm not going to make that because of the pink hair. But
you know what's funny?
It's kind of the same though.
It is.
It's like every time when I had pink hair, dude, every time I go out in public, somebody stops me thinking I'm Sean O'Malley. It's crazy. And then the funny part is before the fight, like, so like I said earlier, I was supposed to fight on a different promotion. Supposed to fight a different guy. Well, then the guy I was supposed to fight got hurt. So I got Dylan. Then that promotion got canceled. So I had to, get in touch with Dylan. It's like, hey, we can't fight on this card because it got canceled, but do you want to transfer to this one and we'll move to this card? It's like, yeah, that sounds cool. So me and him were like, we had seen each other shit on social media. Well, when we got the flyer back, he posted the flyer and somebody commented on it and they were like, you're fighting Sean O'Malley from Wish. And I was like, shit. They took a dig at me and I was like, fuck, dude, that kind of sucked. I was like, that one hurt a little bit. That was good. So whoever the fuck made that comment, I appreciate it. You know what I mean? That was good. I'm going to put Sean O'Malley from Wish on a shirt. That was a good idea, dude. But
Wish Sean O'Malley, baby.
Yeah, dude. It's fucking.
That's awesome. Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, dude.
Hey,
fuck.
But so we've already talked about this a little bit. Tyler Wallace called you out on our podcast. I'm going to play the video of it and let you watch it and then let you react. If you react abnormally and you hate it, we can cut it. I just want you to react, okay?
I'm going to freak out. No, I'm just kidding.
No. I know you're not going to do that. We've done talked enough to know that. You
could be getting Brittany push play over there.
I got to go pee so bad that I want to go hit play and go pee.
Okay.
Do we got it lined up at the right timeline?
It's close.
It's close.
Speaking of names, Lane Pierce. If Lane Pierce, he had a Bravo on the win, first round TKO MMA debut.
Brother.
Congratulations. To explain the call out after the fight and the Instagram eyes emoji back to yours is just, man, I think your character and things like that. Like, could you imagine a guy with pink hair and pink glasses, Wally with the zigzag mullet and the Oakleys, big gold chain? Like, just feel like it puts asses in seats. Like, And I don't know, I've never really called anybody out, but let's do it. 145 MMA, 145 kickboxing, whichever, whatever. March 1st. That's the win ever is March 1st.
Right, yeah. Definitely March 1st. It's not whenever, like in the street. We're not trying to.
We're making that the Normal Dudes podcast house.
There's not enough space in here. No, but
it's a humble call out too, man. It's not that I think I'm any better than you or you're any better than me. It's just genuinely the character you've got and character I've got.
I think it would match good.
Yeah.
I think it would match together good. I think you're right. He stands out.
Yeah.
And then you stand out, obviously.
He's got a following, little crowd pop when he comes out. I've got a crowd pop when I come out, and think build it up now and get everybody on, in Temple, Georgia or wherever.
Yeah.
Cleveland and Chattanooga are already ready for
Get them all amped up for March, bro. By the time March rolls around, son, you'd be so dang excited for this fight, you wouldn't even be able to see straight.
Yeah.
Be fun. That's for sure.
That was the most
the number dude's
respectful call
paw.
out everyone.
Yeah, dude. He's such a good dude, man. He was keen on the reaction, so I figured I'd wait till he got back before I start talking about it.
For sure.
Go ahead.
I mean, I've seen it before. I've seen the one after the fight. I think it's a great matchup. I think it'd be an exciting fight. I've had this conversation with my coaches already. We've talked about it a lot. I can hear the comments now. He's stuck in him. I think he's right in the aspect of building the fight up. I think right now, where he's going and where I'm going, we have an opportunity to make a really, really big fight out of it.
A lot bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that if we jump the gun and do it too early, it's smaller than it can be. And I genuinely believe the way that he's fighting, whether he keeps doing kickboxing or goes back to MMA, that he's going to get a belt. And I'm a firm believer that I'm going to get a 35 strap in MMA before the end of next year. And I think that same timeline we're on right now, I think that if he delivers and I deliver, or when we deliver, that we put my undefeated record on the line, we put his belt on the line, and I think we make it a bigger fight. I think right now we go from being a mid-card fight to being a co-main or a main event. And he's right. His character and my character will put asses in seats.
100%.
But I think jumping it too early is one of those things where we kind of rob ourselves of the fruit of what it can be. But I mean, I'm a gamer, dude. I'll fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Well, and I honestly feel like if you knew Tyler, if you actually knew him as a human being, he would go, dude, you know what? He's probably right.
Yeah.
He is probably right. We could build this up a lot bigger than what it is right now.
Yeah.
So the call out is there.
Yeah.
Whether the fight happens, I don't even know if Billy would match y'all up, right? We don't know none of that.
Yeah.
I think he would do it for sure.
He already did before.
Oh, yeah.
He already
Dude.
did once.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
he matched
that's
us up
true.
once. I said yes to Tyler once, so I don't want to hear that he's ducking Tyler Wallace bullshit. I'm not ducking nobody. I'll fight anybody.
I don't feel like you are. I don't.
No.
And I don't.
Heck
I
no.
mean, and I don't feel like people are gonna feel like you're ducking Tyler. But
If they do, shut up.
yeah, I know. Shut up, bro.
Golly.
Yeah, I just think I think that between me and him, the character and the trajectory that both of
I
us
feel
are
like it
on.
would be a big fight.
Oh, dude, it definitely
Right now,
be a big
it'd
fight.
be a big fight.
Yeah, but it
Right
can be
now.
so much bigger.
Yeah.
dude.
It could be like if
For
you,
sure,
if
bro.
You're saying
maybe
like,
a year from now, probably.
Yeah, maybe not even a year, maybe October,
Yeah.
dude. Like you get because I think Billy's. I think Jennifer told me like March, April, June, and then October again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get on the March card or the April card for sure. One of the two of those. It doesn't matter which one. I just want to be on a card at the beginning of the first quarter of next year.
yeah,
And then we got a lot of guys in the gym getting ready to fight, so I'll probably be helping a lot for the summer card. But even if I can get on the summer card, 2 fights, what is he on a 1-fight win streak right now in kickboxing or something to that effect?
yeah. I think this was his actual first kickboxing.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that it's a great fight. It's a great matchup. I'm 100% down to get in
Because
there
the
with Tyler.
personalities is
Not even just that. I just think he's exciting.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he
he
is.
brings a big crowd, and
you get a pop when you come out too.
Yeah,
you
I
get
got a good support group.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
I do. They make the stretch, man. Like I
Yeah.
said, I got a ration of shit. The jiu-jitsu guys came to watch me fight, and they're like, "You didn't settle and mount the first time. That's why he bucked you." I'm like, "Motherfucker, let me enjoy my win."
Yeah.
All right, let me.
Yeah.
But no, I like Tyler. I think Tyler's a great dude. I had a conversation with him at the last fight.
Did you? Okay,
we were standing
cool.
in the line getting our paperwork, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know if you did any research on me, but we're supposed to fight." We had like a whole conversation.
Sure.
And, I was actually there when him and his opponent agreed to no shins and no headgear and shit. And I was like, I just saw his opponent and I know how Tyler fights. And I was like, dude, Tyler's going to fucking blow through this guy, dude. Holy shit.
Did you think that really?
Yeah, dude. Like, Tyler's like.
So, okay. That's something we got to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
We see fighters, I've seen them where you think that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they just
It's the complete opposite effect.
holy where did this dude come from?
Yeah.
He's an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful with that. Like, oh, he's going to blow through him. Bro, it's not always like that.
Yeah.
It is insane how.
It was his demeanor.
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
demeanor told me
I
a
got
lot.
you. I mean, I know there's a lot more to it than
There's
just
some tells.
a physique.
Yeah, there's some tells. Like when you spar guys in the gym, you can see on their face and how their
They're not
demeanor
a fighter.
is.
Yeah.
Or like how like they are. And like when they were talking, like it was almost like off-putting. Like he was trying, like when him and Tyler were talking, like he was almost like not abrasive, but like yeah, like I'm down for that. Like yeah. Like he was like almost over eager to tell him that. You know what I mean? It was almost like it was weird. Like, and that kid may be really, really good. I don't know.
We don't know. It was a 20-second fight.
Yeah,
we didn't get to see anything.
Yeah, but from the demeanor and the jump, I was like, yeah, Tyler you can just feel it. Like, this kid sat next to me at the meeting, and he was like, he just kept looking at me, and he kept looking at me, and he kept looking at me.
He's like,
and,
what's this dude got pink
yeah,
hair?
well, then, yeah.
No.
I had pink glasses on too, so I had the glasses on. Yeah, I turned to my left or something. He finally asked me a question. He was like, have you fought before? I was like, yeah. He was like, what's your record? I was like, I want to know. He was like, oh, nice. He's like, what are you doing tonight? I was like, I'm doing MMA. He's like, dude, he's like, you just have like this aura around you. Like, I just feel like you're going to go just put on a show and steamroll this guy. Mm-hmm. And then, Dylan walked over to do his physical, and I was waiting on him to get done. And he's like, is that the guy you're fighting? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you're going to kill that guy. And it's like, I didn't take that to heart because like I have a job to go do. You know what I mean? And again, I don't have any ill will towards anybody I fight, but
you definitely have to keep your mind open to the fact that this dude could be a killer.
Yeah, he could be really, really good. Footage tells you tendencies and things, but you don't know what it's going to feel like when you're standing in front of that person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like I said, like that kid said I had aura. When you stand around guys that have that, like
you just get it. Yeah.
Like Tyler has an aura around him. Like he doesn't give a shit if he goes in there and wins or loses. I'm sure he does, but like
he does.
He goes in there and fights like he's not going to see tomorrow. Like I'm going in here to get the fuck after this guy. Like you're in the way. I mean, I think most fighters think that way. You know what I mean? Like whenever I get in there, it's like my goal right now is to get the 135 strap in MMA. That's what I want to do. I want to get, that's my goal. That was what I told my coach before that fight. I was like, I want to go win and make a statement. I'll be 2-0 in Billy's promotion. I want to go win 1, 2 more, whatever it is. And then I want to fight for a belt. That's what I want to do. And obviously I don't make the rules. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah, you don't get to decide that, but that's the idea.
That's my goal. You know what I mean? That's my plan. And it's like, that's what I want to go do. And in my mind, whoever they put in front of me, you're in the way of me getting to that goal. So it's like, when I get in here, move or get moved.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain it. It's just like,
does Connor fight 135?
No, he's 145 too.
Oh, is it 145?
Connor's 145. Logan fought at 155 this time. He fought at 145 the last time, and Tyler's 145.
Okay.
Those some big 45ers.
Yeah.
They're big dudes. I mean, I'm a big 35er, but I'm not dense. I'm just lanky.
I'm
super long.
You're a tall 135er.
That's going to be Ari, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ari hasn't
He's going to be in that category.
He's not fought yet at all. But
Yeah.
He
was supposed to do this fight, but he broke his leg.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
shit.
ankle or whatever it was. I don't know. But
something.
Yeah,
he walked around with a boot on for the next year.
He's as tall as you.
Yeah.
Same weight.
135. Yeah.
Damn, dude, I went to 135 hoping I was going to get a bunch of short dudes.
Nah, same as you, bro. He's tall.
Dude. And that's crazy because I literally said that. I was like, yep. My coaches were like, we went to 45 the first time just to see how my body would handle a weight cut. And at that time, I was, like I've always been a super skinny kid. You know what I mean? Like my fight weight now is what I walked around at soaking wet for the majority of my life. Yeah. And like whenever I stopped racing, I got into the gym. I was lifting heavy like 5-6 days a week, doing like protein, getting bigger. Yeah. And at one point, my heaviest I've ever been was like 160, a little over 160. So when I fought at 45,
I bet you were
like,
freaking ripped at 160, wasn't you?
To be honest, no, because I ate horrible. And
it was just
I was like dirty bulking the whole time, and it took me 3 years, almost 4 years to put on 20 pounds. Like it took forever, bro.
Yeah. I could do it next week.
I wish. But so I put on all that weight.
It's easy for me to get fat, bro.
So I got bigger to, it was an insecurity of my own. So it was like, I want to get bigger. I want to be a heavier. I want to look like I work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I got all the way up to like 160, 162 or something to that effect. And then they realized when I got in the gym, it was around that time, and I was still lifting 5 or 6 days a week. And I was like, okay, well, I can fight at 45. You know what I mean? I'm tall, but I'm not that big. And I was like, even when I put on that weight, I'm still long. So the muscle doesn't pack on me. I get a little bit wider.
Yeah.
and you can't really tell unless you look at pictures side by side.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, this is, whatever. I look bigger in pictures. It's cool, whatever. So I go to 45. I did it all just diet. Like I didn't have to cut weight at the end of the thing. I think I sat in the sauna for an hour in sweats, and like that was it. And I got to eat the whole week. So it wasn't like I was like cooked, because I was like 2 pounds over on Monday of the fight.
Oh yeah.
So I did that. For whatever reason, I didn't blow back up. Like I never got, like, it took me 6 months to get back to like 55, 56. Dang. And I was in the gym one day and I was like, hey Manny, what do you think about like 35? You think I can make 35? And my buddy Rico fought on, what was it? I can't remember. It was like maybe 8 or 9, but he fought Adita Nathella or whatever from KMAA. And he's my weight, and he's a little bit shorter than me, but he's lean all the time. Like he looks like he's like 5% body fat 24/7. I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, Rico makes it. And I looked at Rico and I was like, Rico, what do you weigh right now? And he's like, I'm like 154, 155, just shredded, like 8-pack, like top to bottom. I'm like, what the fuck?
And you're like, you fight at 135, bro?
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't even have abs at this point.
That?
Like, yeah. It's like, I don't have abs. I'm like, I can make 35. And then, I go through all my coaches and we kind of talk about it. I'm like, yeah, we'll go to 35. And now my frame is like, it's built for 35. It's like weird because like I haven't packed on that muscle that I had before. Like if you took a picture of me from the 35 fight and then took a picture of me from the fight when I fought Shane, dude, it's two different people. Like I go from like this on the arms to like this.
Yeah.
And it's unreal, but I don't know. I like 35, and the weight cut's not too bad on me. Obviously it sucks, but it's not fun. Nothing about weight cutting is fun. But it's not unreasonable.
I can't imagine anything about the weight cut would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck no, dude. Walking upstairs sucks when you're cutting weight. You get to the top of the steps and you're like, fuck, dude, I got to go back down those motherfuckers.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I can't believe I walked up here. That was so dumb. Yeah. I don't even remember what I came up here for. All I can think about is walking back down them. That would suck, bro.
Yeah, it's fucking ass, bro. It's the worst shit ever. Yeah. It's so bad. Especially when it's like, in every commercial on TV is food.
I know.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking food. It's always food. I'm sitting there and I'm like,
10 of them out of 10 is food, bro. Yep. Pizza Hut, and then Papa John's comes on right afterwards. Then Subway, and then
Arby's.
Arby's is right next. Sonic comes up next, and you're like, bro, I
want a cheeseburger, bro.
Yeah, I gotta eat this chicken, bro. I don't want chicken again.
I'm a hot wing connoisseur, but you can't really eat fried food when you.
No.
But I'm west of Atlanta, dude. Hot wings in Atlanta is a culinary art, dude.
Yep.
There's a hot wing spot on every corner.
Yep.
So it's like I've had probably every hot wing spot you can think of.
Yeah.
And like all camps, like I'm driving by them, I'm like, fuck, like 6 more weeks.
Yeah.
4 more weeks.
Bro. Yeah. You can do chicken breast, smoke it instead of fry it, and put you a bunch of
sauces, man.
Yeah, something. Not too sweet though. You got to stay a little away from the sweet sauces, but you could do some sauce on that. Some hot sauce usually.
That's what I got him for. That's Chef Baldman over there, dude. Dude, that's my nutritionist.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go, bro.
He dude, he's all on his own. Like when we first started fighting, like he was a wrestler in high school. My dad was a wrestler. I like looking at his I like looking at his jacket. He's got like a jacket from his like varsity like high school jacket or whatever, and they gave him like pins in his jacket every time you pin somebody. His whole fucking like right side of his fucking thing from top to bottom is pins.
Nice.
And he was like doesn't still like know a whole lot about fighting, but he does his own research on his own time. And like throughout my whole camp, like both of us, this is the first time I've done a real serious weight cut. And we want to do it safely because it is dangerous. You know what I mean?
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm looking at like this and this, and you can eat this, and you can eat this, and you can't eat that, and blah 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 blah.
We got to steer clear of that, and we got to eat a bunch of this, and
and my dad's like, all right, here's your dinner, and I'm like, oh, sick. And like he's like giving me shit throughout camp, and I'm like, okay, cool, and like I'm just watching the weight just go down.
Yeah, I'm
like, oh, dude, this is perfect. And then on top of that, you have an asshole strength and conditioning coach who tries to torture you for 10, 11 weeks. Yeah. Shout out to Tyler. That's my strength and conditioning coach. If you guys want a good strength and conditioning coach, MPT Fit on Instagram, Tyler McKay on Instagram. he's getting into the fight realm as well. He's
no kidding.
Yeah, he's got a kid that he trains just signed to Texas to play football. So
sweet.
So he's got his hands in everything. He's very knowledgeable. He's a smart guy.
They're playing Georgia right now.
Yeah, he likes to fucking eat shit I can't eat when I'm in fight camp and then talking about it.
Dick move, bro.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. You know what I mean? I signed up for it. How do I complain about it? You know?
Yeah.
It's like willingly I signed up for it.
This is what you want, bro.
Yeah. He's sitting there like, bro, you got to eat more. You got to eat less chicken. Oh,
it's just like
he's got a fucking milkshake in his right hand.
He's like Shake Shack.
A few months ago, we had before the fights. Was it before the fights when Billy and everybody came on? Yeah. There was like 4 people in here.
I started that one yesterday.
Billy was drinking.
Oh shit!
Everybody was mad because he's their coach.
Yeah,
and he wouldn't let them drink nothing, bro.
Yeah,
it was hilarious.
That's funny, dude. It's actually crazy because I had the opposite problem. So like I got ahead of my weight really fast. Like we did. So we did a 10-week camp this last time. Like 5 weeks in, I was down to like 46, 45. And I got done training one day and it was like a sparring session. So, you're fucking sweating like a motherfucker. And I get done and I'm like, he's like, go check your weight. And I go get on this like fancy ass fucking scale they got at the gym. And I get on the scale and I'm like 143. And he's like, if you don't go fucking eat some food, I'm going to throw you through a mirror, dude. He actually made me put like 2 or 3 pounds back on for a couple more weeks.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize until like just recently how important it is for you to carry a certain amount of weight for a certain amount of time.
You got to cut it just right.
Yeah. He's like, because if you cut it too early, you won't blow back up. And then you'll be depleted.
Won't feel like training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be weak.
Yeah. I usually wait till the last week to really cut everything out because like you got to have everything that they tell you're not supposed to have, you have to have to train, like salt, sodium, sugar, electrolytes, like all these things that you need.
Carbohydrates, bro. You got to eat a bunch of them to train. That don't go away just because you're training. You know, I mean, just because you're trying to cut weight, you got to do it right, man. I don't know what that looks like at all, but I know
hammered dog shit.
Yeah.
That's the only way I can explain it to you.
That's what the picture is, huh?
Yeah, dude. When we get done, I'll show you the picture of what I look like when I got done cutting weight.
Yeah.
Holocaust victim, dude.
Golly, dude.
It's bad, dude. Yeah. I'm going to get canceled for the Holocaust references, dude. Somebody's going to be like, you can't do that.
You can't do that. You're not Jewish.
Yeah, I'm not Jewish. I'm definitely not Jewish. I would have got crucified a long time ago. You see how many tattoos I got? That would have destroyed me, dude.
But it is what it is. You do. I mean,
yeah.
It's a good reference, I feel like.
Yeah.
Everybody knows what you're talking about.
Everybody gets it. Yeah, they get a clear picture of what you're talking about. At 135, though, I feel like that's really small. Like,
and you're 6'2", 6'3", whatever.
Yeah. My doctor says I'm 6'1"3/4", but we're going with 6'2" because it sounds better when you talk to women.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. I gotta tell them all I'm
6'2", bitch.
I'll be like, I'm 5'8".
Yeah, I know it.
When I stand on a shoebox.
Yeah. Yeah.
How tall are you?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, you're not 5'8", dude.
Like, damn it. Why'd you have to do that to me, dude?
I know. I'm 5'8", 200. And they're like, you look like 5'6", 220. You're a dick, bro.
Oh, dude, that's messed up. Dude, people think I'm like 180 pounds out of camp. They're like, dude, how much you weigh? I'm like 155. They're like, what?
Yeah.
No way. What? I'm like, dude, I'm not big at all. They're like, the fuck? And then it's funny because and then people grapple with me and they're like, why are you so fucking strong, dude? What the fuck, bro?
It's weird, bro.
That was the first thing Dylan said to me. He was like, yeah, the game plan was to grapple you. And he was like, we grabbed onto each other and I was like, you were strong as fuck. And I was like, well, this is probably not going to work.
Yeah.
But hey, man, I'll give it to that guy. That motherfucker, dude. He
kept going.
He tried, bro. He tried everything I thought he was going to do, he did. And I don't know, man. It's different when you get in there, dude. It's like you can have all the belief in the world, but it's like, I think, again, like I said earlier, it comes down to that preparation once you get in there, dude. It's the room you're in, the guys you're with, your coaches, and I don't think people understand how important a game plan is when you get in there but it's hard to say that because a lot of people get in there and they space out. My first fight, I wasn't thinking about shit. I was like, this worked in sparring, fuck it, and throw it. And that was it. Like this last time, we had combinations and setups and The first exchange in that fight, when he kicked me, my coach we were standing in the back and he looked at me. He goes, all right, since we're wearing shin guards, he was like, we're changing the game plan. I was like, okay. He was like, we're not checking kicks. I was like, okay. He was like, as soon as this motherfucker kicks you, cross right down the middle. Okay. He was like, let him throw the first one. See if he throws it blind. See if he sets it up. I'm like, all right. As soon as we circle, blind kick. I'm like, oh, bingo. Well, he threw the first one and I was like, oh, there it is. And my coach, no bullshit. I can spot his voice from anywhere. He goes, we don't eat those for fucking free. And I was like, okay. As soon as he threw the second one, I went through it, landed 2 of the 3 punches, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Cool. And like then that's another big thing is trusting your coaches too, man. Like it's you have to have the confidence and belief in yourself, but you have to trust your program.
Yeah.
And like, if I don't trust the guy in my corner telling me what he sees and what I should be doing,
Right.
why the fuck is he over there anyway?
Exactly. Right. Why is that my dude?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to rewind it a little bit. Logan, he was talking about, he's like, man, I look good in the gym. I look great in the gym. When I'm at the gym, I look like I've been training. I look like I fought. And then as soon as the bell rings, I go straight to street fighting. I don't know why. He said it looks like I hadn't trained yet.
I think it's the lights.
Yeah.
It's different, dude. Like, I don't know how to fucking explain it, bro. But it's like you get in there and it's like, fuck, I want to beat you up. Like, it's like I don't know what it is.
I'm in a hurry to do it too.
Yeah, dude. But honestly, like I was saying before, like the first time, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like, and literally, like, as soon as he started throwing, I was like, he hit me one time. I was like, fuck, I'm in a fight. Holy shit. Like, this is real. Holy shit. And like, dude, the first time, bro, oh my God, this is so bad. I'm going to tell you guys a funny story.
Okay.
So I go to the fight. My mom is nervous fucking wreck, bro. I love my mom to death, bro. She was a nervous wreck. So
I would be too.
Yeah.
Full belief in myself, whole camp. I told everybody and their mother that would listen, I'm going to destroy this dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, this is a respectful thing. I'm not doing it to them. It's just confidence in myself. So I go in there and we're at the, actually, matter of fact, this is before we even fight. We're at the venue. My mom shows up. My mom calls me. And she was like, hey, we're here, blah, 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 blah. How does this work? And I was like, hold on one second. Somebody like directs them to the table or whatever because they were asking people shit. And I come out, a couple of my teammates show up. I'm going, say hey to everybody. And I'm in sweatpants and I'm chilling, relaxing. I'm having a good time, laughing. See my mom, like, there's my mom. I'm going to go there and say hey to her, walk over there. My mom is getting ready to eat a cheeseburger. She hasn't ate nothing all fucking day. I walk over there. She puts the cheeseburger down. She looks at me. Fucking waterfall, dude. She starts crying.
Oh, God.
So I give her a hug. I'm like, Mom, I got this. Relax, whatever. So, go in the back, get ready, get my hands wrapped, come out, get in the cage. And I'm like, it's like I said, that primal switch. I'm sitting in the cage. And he gets in there. When Shane got in the cage, I didn't stop looking at him. Like, as soon as he was in the silhouette of the cage, I watched that dude until they said fight. And I was like, I knew the first round was going to be tough. Like, I knew like he's going to come at me and he's going to try and get after me and he's going to try to beat my ass. Like, and I wasn't expecting him to hit hard. And he hit me. The first time he hit me, he cracked me, which was surprised the shit out of me because it was a beautiful right hand. And he threw it and he hit me with it and it cracked me on my face. And I was like, fuck. And I knew the whole camp, I was like, the two things were composure and moving your feet. Mm-hmm. Stay composed no matter what happens and move your feet. As soon as he hit me, I'm like, fuck. I start circling because I feel the cage. And Billy had the noodles over there's like I'm not sure if that's exactly what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's like, so there's like a little small gap between the cage, like the canvas and the fence. And they put like a pool noodle or something in it to keep you from stepping between it. Mm. And that one, it was like, they were these big ass fucking curved over noodles, like the size of this cup. And I stepped on it as I was trying to circle and it slid my foot off. Mm. And I just went straight back. My arms are out on the cage like this. And I'm like, fuck, right in front of my mom, right where her table is sitting. I just got smacked with a beautiful right hand right down the middle, right on my chin. It probably looks like he's about to knock me the fuck out because I just fell over and I get up and I'm like, okay. And that was like when I snapped into the fight because it was like it took me to get hit to realize this is not sparring. This is real. Yeah. And I like settled in and I was like, okay. And like this was like you were saying earlier, like, people kind of space out when they get in there. Mm-hmm. And I could hear my coach, Coach Bolo was in the corner and he was like, throw your jab, throw your jab, throw your fucking jab. Like, just hear him saying,
He's
and I'm
gonna
like,
tell you everything to do now.
yeah, I was like, okay. So I throw the jab, and I'm like, okay, cool. And it was like the whole fight, like I hear him, he would go away, and then I would hear him again, then he would go away, and I'd hear him again. And it was like all the shit we did in camp, I threw in that fight. And it was like, it wasn't always him telling me, it was just my brain. I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it was the
You wasn't
repetition
going
in my
1,
brain.
2, 1, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it was just
1, 2, 2.
repetition.
Yeah.
Like, it was muscle memory. And it was like, I got a couple of videos I'll show you guys before we get out of here, but it's happened both fights now. Like, there's a video of me hitting mitts with one of my teammates, and it was a combination I threw against Shane, and then the combination I was working in the back, I threw against Dylan. And this second fight, I was really, really calm. Like, I could feel, like, in the first fight, I was frantic. It may not look like it, but in that first fight, I was like, fuck, this is happening. Holy shit. Everything was happening like so fast. Like, I felt like I blinked and it was over. And like, I was standing there at the decision, didn't even realize he wasn't in the cage. And I'm thinking, fuck, did I do enough to win? And then I hear 30-25 on one of the scorecards, and I'm like,
whoa,
holy shit. And then they raised my hand, and I was like, it hit me. I'm like, oh, fuck, I won. I need to celebrate. Holy shit. I need to do something cool so I don't look like I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
But the second time, like, I got in there, the wheels were turning the whole time. Like, I felt like it didn't matter what he did. There was nothing that was going to throw me off my pivot. And it was like, a buddy of mine told me, like, he worked with me during camp. Like, he's not like a fighter, but he does come to the gym and train. Shout out to Larry. He comes to the gym and he holds mitts for me and like helps me work the game plan. He's just a body. He just lets me drill. Like, he's like, I'll give you looks, whatever you want to do, you know, whatever. And he was telling me that the first exchange when I threw the cross off the leg kick, Dylan threw a counter like right hand, and it hit me on the top of my head. Like, he like almost like clubbed me a little bit, like the knuckles like hit the top of my head, and it looks really violent because I think it's my hair. My hair moves really bad, but it hit the top of my head, and like I felt him hit me, but it didn't feel like anything. And then my head started like when you know, like you hit your head on something, kind of rings. I'm like, fuck, that kind of hurt a little bit. But he said, my buddy told me, he was like, I could tell when you reset after the first exchange that he was in trouble, because like he was like, I've seen you spar. And it's like there's like a certain look and intensity and demeanor in your the way you move with guys, like whenever you're locked in. And he was like, whenever you reset the first time, it was like, it's like a movie, dude. It's weird. It's like you get in there and it's like shit starts happening. It's like, I've done this so many times in the gym, but now I'm competing and it matters. Yeah. And like that's cool. I think you get over that though, you know.
Yeah, I think that's just part of the experience. You're at the amateur level. You have to get in those fights to
fighter
experience
maturity.
it, and
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen. You're gonna mature more. You'll get better as the fights come.
24, you said?
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah, you
keep doing it, you're gonna go.
Yeah. You can go anywhere you want to with it, for sure. At 24 years old, bro, there's no doubt in my mind. You know, there's you could go with music if you want to, whatever your dreams are, right? You can chase whatever your dreams are at 24 years old and make it your life. I hope you choose fighting.
Do both. I love music too. I mean,
I've
been playing guitar for 20-something years. I mean, I love music. I love it.
Oh, you play guitar?
Yeah.
I suck at guitar.
So
I've got 3 and I'm terrible.
Really?
Yeah. I pick it up like a couple times a week and like play it and just kind of keep myself around.
Yeah.
You
can do both.
You can do both.
You can do both.
Yeah.
You absolutely can do both.
Yeah. Especially nowadays, you know.
Yeah.
You can produce your own stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
I'm trying to let God sort it out for me. I want him to take me where he wants me to go. Yeah. Whatever gives me a platform to expose my faith. That's what I want. I talked to my I'm calling my youth pastor. He's not really my youth pastor, but he's a guy that's been a very big role model for me. And I went to lunch with him a couple of days ago, and he asked me what my goal was coming on this podcast. He was like, are you branding yourself as a fighter or what? And I was like, you know what? I was like, honestly, like, yeah, I want to brand myself as a fighter, but I also want to shed light on the thing that matters, and that's faith. My faith is very big to me. It's something that's become really big. And like I said, whatever God's plan is what I want to do. I want to go wherever he wants me to go, whatever gives me the opportunity to talk about my faith.
That's beautiful, man.
That's what I want.
It really is beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fighters that you wouldn't pin fighters down as having a lot of faith, but a lot of them actually talk a lot about it. Yeah. You know, it's a big thing for a lot of fighters. Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Ties together well.
Do what?
It ties together well, dude.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it really does.
I got
a lot of ways.
I got this Bible verse just recently tattooed on my ear. It's or behind my ear. It's Romans 8:18, And it was my like picked out verse for camp. And it says, yet what we suffer now is nothing compared to the glory he will reveal to us later. And I felt like that was like perfect for fight camp because it's a suffer fest. Yeah. But if you get your hand raised, it's worth every second. Every second in that song.
Yeah.
That's so wild. I can't imagine getting my hand raised. I won't never feel that, but
hey, let's go. You mean to raise the other one?
I didn't win nothing, bro.
I know.
I can raise that one. You can get both of them, you know? Yeah. You can feel both sides of the...
I feel like Rocky Balboa then.
Yeah.
Do you do enough running to feel like Rocky Balboa?
Negative Ghost Rider.
No.
I do 0 running ever in my whole life. The only thing I've ever done is lift weights. I can get pretty strong when I lift. I hadn't done that in about a year now. So, close enough.
Yeah, it's close.
That's close, yeah. It's a
6
long
months
time.
a year, once a difference.
6 months. Once you hit 6 months, you're starting over.
Yeah, for
Once
sure.
you hit 3 months, really, you're starting over. 3 months,
Yeah.
you're starting over, bro.
Yeah.
It feels like you are anyway.
Yeah,
You
you
gotta
can
lay
get back
down.
to where you're at quick, but
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
it's
you
bad.
can, but it's not after 6 months. You don't.
yeah.
I'll tell you that right now.
It's rough when you change the program. Like whenever my strength conditioning coach does the program for me, and I go
That
from
dick.
like
Oh.
it goes from like
You go from,
lifting to
yeah.
like things that transition into fighting, things that make me faster, help me hit harder, be stronger in that in those aspects. And then camp's over. My first week back in the gym, like lifting freely on my own. First day, leg day, dumbest shit I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk for a week. I was like getting out of the car like deer legs,
Yeah.
dude, just wobbling all over the place.
So when I changed it up, we would go from like lifting heavy to lifting lighter weight, more reps. That's how we changed our stuff up, right? And just that small of a change. Your buddy don't like it, your buddy's like, what are we doing? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know why we're doing that, but
Magnify that by 9,000 when you
that's
cut
what
weight.
I'm saying. That's what
Your
I'm saying.
body's like, motherfucker, will you give me some food?
Yeah,
like, will you
no.
put some electrolytes in here, dude?
How about some carbs? How about some carbs, bro?
Dude, take me to McDonald's.
How do you
Give
feel
me a
about a
10
birthday
piece,
cake?
bro.
How do you feel about a cake? That's what I always crave. If I
For real? Birthday cake?
I don't even like birthday cake.
Legendary, bro.
I don't like it. I don't like birthday cake at all. But if
What
I
about
go,
the milkshake from Zaxby's?
Nope.
I
don't like- I love
Dude, that
birthday
thing is
cake.
so good.
Well, I don't like birthday cake at all. But if I go start trying to cut my carbs out to cut weight for summer, immediately that's what I want to
Summer
eat. I
bod.
could eat like a birthday cake, dude. I could shove the whole thing in my mouth. I don't know why or what it is about that, but
Yeah, that's weird.
I've went as far to go to the sugar container and get a spoonful of sugar. And go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. Fuck that. You know what's funny? Like, I think everybody's craving is different.
Yeah, it is.
So my buddy asked me, he was like, so what do you want after your fight?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to have it waiting for you when you get out of the cage.
Oh, beautiful.
And I'm like,
You're the
fuck.
dude I like.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't really know, man. I'm like, shit. I was like, you know what? I've been walking past. I love Pop-Tarts. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I want a s'mores Pop-Tart. I haven't had one of
yeah.
those in a long time. I want one of those. And he's like, all right. The video from the fight. So after they do they have
You
the
said
video
that with your
on YouTube or whatever. So after I do my post-fight interview and they have that clip of all my people like grabbing me and shit,
Yeah.
you see my buddy, he pulls, you see the blue Pop-Tart wrapper. You see him hold it up like this. I'm looking at him. I'm like, you are the fucking man. Holy
You don't
shit.
understand. That's awesome, right? Yeah.
That's not even the craziest part. So my buddy Daniel, he came down there. He missed my first fight. He went to go to see his sister and he got hung up and he made it like right after my fight ended. He was so upset. And this one, he made it. He was on time. He was ready to go. And he disappeared after the fight was over. Like, he's in the video. Like, he like hugs me, does the whole celebration thing. And he just disappears. And I was like, he was going out to eat with us. Where the fuck did he go? Get back to the hotel and he calls me. He's like, hey, what room are you in? I'm like, I'm in like whatever room I was in. And he comes up there. This motherfucker comes in there with a basket. 2 bags of chips, a big thing of s'mores Pop-Tarts, chocolate bars. There's $100 in the front of it.
Dang,
I'm like,
dude.
holy shit. I still have the basket. There was so much in it that I couldn't even like eat it. Like, I look at it and I'm like, I haven't even put a fucking dent in this thing. Like, I'm going to have this till next Christmas.
That's crazy.
Oh, dude, he had to have spent at least $60 on that fucking basket. And he bought like a basket to put it in. Like, where the fuck did you go?
That's awesome. Walmart, son.
Where did you go?
I got everything at Walmart, or TJ Maxx. You get all this stuff.
Speaking of Walmart,
Target.
I need a sponsorship for my next camp.
Yeah.
We need one too, bitch.
I know.
Help me pay for the groceries.
Sign us up for
Dude, just get a fucking Walmart sign somewhere and hang it in here, dude.
Hell yeah. Shit.
Like, hey.
sponsors, bro.
Sponsor us, dude. We'll give you free promo. They're like, dude, we got fucking billboards all over America. What the fuck are you talking about?
We use Walmart. We should have a sponsorship for them.
So, bro, I guess we've been talking long enough. I hate to end it because I'm very interested.
Yeah.
But he's got to edit this, and it takes forever to do. So we're gonna have to cut it off. At the end of these things, we tell everybody that we love them. You don't have to, but it's how we end it. So you can say whatever you want to after we get done. Does that make sense?
Hold up. Do you want to shout out anybody before we quit, bro?
He shouted out a million people.
Is there
I was
anybody
gonna
else,
say,
though?
I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss anybody, dude.
Yeah. We can take a second to think about it, and we can. This is edited, so
We can edit it all out.
if there's anything,
I think I got everybody, man. I'm just really big on giving the people that support me their flowers, man. Because
Absolutely.
I can't like my Instagram post after the fight was that it was like I told them that, you know, without like it takes a village. Like without these guys, I don't go in here and do what I do. Like otherwise, I'm just some dude that signed up to go fight. Like my skill set comes from these people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
From the strength and conditioning to the mitt work to the sparring rounds to the partners that I have. The guys that are massive in my camp that give me even little advice, like just guys that come up to me like they give you a confidence booster, a positive affirmation. That's like those are the people huge. That matter, dude. Like it matters. So like I want those guys to get their recognition. So if I miss somebody and you're mad at me, I'm sorry.
Well, don't be mad at him because this is a tough spot to be put in. Don't get pissed at him. Just try to put yourself in his shoes a little bit, right?
Shout out to everybody in my corner. How's that?
There you go.
There we go.
That's everybody.
That way you can't be mad if I missed your actual name. You just know you're a part of my corner, you know?
Yeah. So after you come on the show, you always become a part of our corner. We'll become a part of your corner. We'll be pulling for you from now on. If you go fight at Elevate or A&F or wherever you decide to go fight, always hit us up and let us know you're going, because I would definitely like to be there and watch it. We love the fight game and love all the people that are involved in it. So definitely hit us up. We'll try to stay in touch with you for sure. Whether it's a text message every once in a while or a stupid meme or something, you know what I'm saying?
Sick.
Yeah.
I'm going to start sending memes now, dude.
Yeah, no,
y'all going to get random shit from me and be like, what the fuck?
It's fucking 4 o'clock in the morning, bro.
Shit. Hopefully I'm fucking asleep at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm getting fucking older, dude. That staying up late shit don't work, man.
It don't for me either.
It gets hard, bro.
Yeah, my age, dang, 9 o'clock is staying up late. Yeah. 9 p.m., son, I'm like, I'm sitting on the couch struggling.
We'll be looking at them memes at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I wake up at 4.
How the fuck do you watch UFC cards if you're asleep at 9 o'clock, man?
It's
Watch
tough.
tomorrow.
It's tough, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've sat in here and struggled to watch them, bro. Just
they got one on right now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I got so many guys fighting on there tonight, dude, that I can't wait to watch fight.
Yeah.
Shit.
well, so we always end these things by telling everybody we love them.
Yeah.
You don't have to do it. But if you want to say something after we do that, it's your turn to shine, okay?
Or not, whatever.
Am I supposed to tell y'all I love y'all or like?
No, just Cameron.
Oh, sick.
That's your camera.
Just the
and
fans
this is
and the
ours.
people.
We love the people.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the people too.
That's how we do it. We love y'all.
Love y'all.
Thanks for watching.
Love you guys. I don't know who's watching, but I love you guys. MMA is the best sport on the planet.
Absolutely, dude.
Come see me fight. I'm about to make somebody a highlight.